Live? Are we live? We're live! Hey guys! Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Are we live on those guys yet?
Almost.
Almost. Yes, Garrett's going to get his finger up. And now we're live too. Welcome guys. Glad you could be here. We're going to go on radio real quick. And if this is the first time you're joining us, we do our radio show, which is syndicated all around the country, all around the world actually. And then at the breaks, when we're doing commercials here at the radio station, we interact with you guys on social media. So if you have any questions, send them in right now. Some of you guys aren't going to get audio, unfortunately, for the callers, but that's going to be solved next week. So I'll repeat the questions for you. And by the way, right now, share this on all your other social media networks so that everybody can tune in. Because if you're watching, I hope you want to spread the word of what we're talking about, so we can help get them well and keep them well. That's your job. You're an ambassador now. Okay, here comes weather, then comes us, then we rock and roll. But send in your questions right now, because at the breaks, that's what we do. We answer your questions. Any healthcare questions at all. Storm warning. I'm looking at the map right now. There's a big line of storms going right through Atlanta. So we may break out. They won't interrupt me, but they may break out on WSB for weather. So here we go.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. Fun show today. We're going to be talking about electromagnetic frequencies. How many people know what that is? Raise your hands. How many people have no idea what I'm talking about? Raise your hands. A lot of you. Electromagnetic frequencies, and you need to know about this. Because if you don't, it's going to be very serious for your health. Could be very serious for your health. No promises here. But electromagnetic frequencies are everywhere. You are surrounded by them right now. Look around. You see anything? Nope. They're there. Electromagnetic frequencies following you, because you wouldn't be able to hear the show if you didn't have electromagnetic frequencies. Your cell phone has them. Your Wi-Fi has them. You are surrounded by them, and they're really bad. And a lot of you may have symptoms. You may have sensitivity, electromagnetic frequency syndrome, or sensitivity. You may have this condition and not even know it. And so I want you to listen to this, because if I list some things that you might have and no one else been able to figure it out, you'll say, oh, maybe that's it. And I'm going to give you real easy fixes on what to do about it. So you don't have to worry. You just have to listen to the whole show, because the last segment we're going to be talking about what to do about it. So share this with your friends. Call your friends right now. Tell them to tune into the radio. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch right now as well. So you want to get this information, because this information could save your life. So exposure, these are called microwave EMF. Microwave is electromagnetic frequency. These are just real small radio waves. Cell phones, or the big one, cause massive mitochondrial dysfunction because they create free radicals, and that can cause single and double strand breaks in the DNA. Now, that was a lot of big words in one sentence. Mitochondria, the cells in your body have something called mitochondria. They have a lot of things in them. Mitochondria generate energy. Okay, they're the powerhouse of the cells. Anybody ever took biology? You had to remember powerhouse of the cell for mitochondria, and you got the test right. So what they do is they make energy. They're the little powerhouses that generate the electricity in your body, and so it's really important you take care of them, because if you don't have good mitochondrial function, you might have a lot of problems, not just fatigue, but heart problems, circulatory problems, neurological problems. As a chiropractor, of course, that's pretty big to me. So what happens is it can create free radicals. Now, free radicals are like Pac-Man. They eat through things. Waka, 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 waka. And so these free radicals are eating through things, and free radical production is triggered by these electromagnetic frequencies, things like cell phones, Wi-Fi networks. And they're linked to a lot of things, including things like cardiac arrhythmia. That's when your heart beats irregularly. Anxiety, depression. It can make autism worse, even Alzheimer's and infertility. We're finding now with Alzheimer's, there's a protein in the brain called the tau protein, T-A-U. And when it's there all by itself doing its thing, it's fine. But what we're finding now with Alzheimer patients is the tau protein, it basically unfolds itself. It turns itself inside out, making it simple, and it starts to stick to other tau proteins. And that's when we start to get what's called the amyloid plaques, the plaques that form in Alzheimer's disease. And so we're trying to figure out why are these proteins unfolding. And one of the thought processes right now is that electromagnetic frequencies can take these tau proteins and open them up, unwind them, and then they start sticking to each other. And then it prevents neurological impulses from traveling, and then you have your Alzheimer's disease. So if you have somebody with Alzheimer's, or if you want to prevent Alzheimer's, you probably want to keep listening in. Now, I've talked about EMS for a long time now. It's a hidden health risk. It's everywhere. But exactly how these microwave frequencies damage the body, we didn't really know. We know they did it, we didn't know why. But Martin Pall, PhD, has identified and published a research describing the likely molecular mechanisms on how these EMFs from cell phones and wireless technologies can damage animals, can damage plants, can damage your brain. And here's how it works. What happens is, in your body, you have cells, and in the cells, you have voltage-gated calcium channels. Now, voltage-gated calcium channel is a little spot on the membrane of your cell that opens up and allows calcium in. And it's affected by voltage, okay, electricity. Now, these channels on the outer membranes of the cells and the plasma membranes that surround the cells have these receptors in them. So imagine this, you have a cell and you have this little opening, this little door, okay, and it lets in calcium, and it lets in a little bit and it closes it and everything works fine. So when they're activated, they open up, they allow calcium to flow in. It's the excess calcium in the cell that's responsible for the biological issue. So you're supposed to have some calcium going in and out, but you don't want to have too much. So when you expose the cells to electromagnetic frequencies, there's an increase in intracellular calcium. Intra means inside the cell. So for the past 25 years, the electromagnetic frequency industry, people in that field, have claimed non-ionizing radiation, which is what this is harmless. And only the radiation worth worrying about is ionizing radiation. So this is low frequency. It's no big deal. You don't have to worry about it. Dr. Paul's research proves this wrong. So when the cell membranes are exposed to electromagnetic frequencies, these waves that come from your cell phones, they open up and allow an abnormally large volume of calcium ions into the cell, about 1 million ions per second per channel. So essentially what it is they're opening up the floodgates and allowing this calcium to dump into your cells. Sounds boring, doesn't it? It's not, because it's really serious when it's affecting your health. So this is how these very weak electromagnetic frequencies, which the industry claims doesn't cause anything, are causing problems. Now, it turns out that it's absolutely critical that we balance the amount of calcium in the cells, because when there's excess calcium in the cell, a number of things happen. Not only do you get excess calcium signaling, because calcium helps create signals, that's how the nerve signals work, but you can also increase something called nitric oxide. Now, if you've listened to my show in the past, you've heard me talk about nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. It's a vasodilator. And that's really good. And as you get older, you stop producing so much nitric oxide as you did when you were a child. So you need to, I take nitric oxide supplements every day. And also eat a good diet. The problem is when too much nitric oxide gets into the cells, because this calcium gets in there and it interacts with the nitric oxide. And that's where we're having our problems. And so not only do you have excess calcium signaling, the nitric oxide builds up, and that's where the problems come in. Superoxide is a chemical in the cell, and the levels raise due to increased intracellular calcium, and this creates something called free radicals. Now, free radicals are like Pac-Man. They eat through things. So the bottom line is too much calcium in the cell activates free radical production, and that causes the damage. When I come back, I'm going to make that a little simpler for you. If you have any healthcare questions, I'm going to open up the phone lines. The number here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, over 1,000 hours of podcasts on every topic in health you can imagine, drjoe.com. Hey, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Okay.
I'm going to try to pronounce this right.
Go ahead.
Your thoughts on sorbic, well, I guess that's not bad. Sorbic acid infusion treatments.
Ascorbic?
I guess so.
Okay. I'll give you half a bell for that.
Well, it's spelled sorbic.
Oh, ascorbic? Okay, ascorbic acid. No, if you're talking about ascorbic acid, I'd rather you do vitamin C than ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is 1/8 of the vitamin C molecule. So if you're going to do infusions, you want to do vitamin C. I think it's great. A lot of research is being done with cancer, cold and flu, immune system issues. So it's great stuff, but I would definitely use a pure vitamin C and not ascorbic acid.
Now, this person's had a terrible acid reflux.
Uh-huh.
Seems like for years, it's gotten so bad that it's causing a cough.
Sure.
Knows that diet is part of the change, but...
diet is not going to fix it, unfortunately. What happens with acid reflux, you have a sheet of muscle called the diaphragm, you have a hole in the diaphragm. Food drops in a hole, you close the hole, you digest food, and you pass it on. If you have acid reflux, chances are your stomach is pushed up into that hole. So diet's good, But the problem is physical, not chemical. Chemical is good. I'm saying definitely make the changes. But we need to take your stomach and massage it or adjust it and pull it down away from the diaphragm. If we pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, then you're able to start digesting your food again. I see 85% of the patients we see in our offices have some form of this. Patients come to us for car accidents, sports injuries, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. One question all my doctors always ask, do you have any acid reflux or heartburn, burping, gas, bloating? 85% of our patients say yes. So when we adjust the spine, we also adjust the stomach, and they think we're the coolest folks in the world. Doctors send their wives to us. Chiropractors send themselves to us. Medical doctors come in to see us. The techniques we use are not a lot of doctors do it, and so we get people literally from all over the world coming to see us to fix their acid reflux. So you want to come see us. Hopefully we'll get that fixed for you as well. You go on the website, drjoe.com, and make an appointment, or you can call 844-44-Dr.Joe. Yes, more questions?
I don't have any from
Instagram. Get on it. Questions?
What did you eat this morning?
I had a wonderful day today. I started out with super greens and essential source, which I always do. Had a grapefruit. Went outside. I had this big pile of wood chips delivered to my house on Friday. We had rain moving in here in Atlanta. So I was going nuts getting this. I mean, the pile was literally, almost half the size of this room. And it was taller than me. And I'm 6 foot. So I worked on it Friday afternoon, Saturday. And then this morning, I just couldn't move. Last night, I just couldn't physically move my body anymore. And I woke up really early this morning because the rain was moving in, and I finished up the wood chip. So I had super green essential source and a grapefruit. Came back in. Took a nap actually today, which is kind of nice. What else did I eat today? Oh, I had a mango. Made some hummus. I had some hummus and some stir-fried veggies. That's all I've eaten all day.
I didn't know that you ever napped or slept.
I know. Well, I was working so hard yesterday. I worked for about 8 hours nonstop shoveling wood chips, and I was shaking by the end of the day. So I actually took a nap. Yeah, it was nice.
That's the Dr. Joe I know.
There you go. That's right. Sarah, nothing on Instagram? Folks are getting lazy over there.
Instagram's
Come on,
not
Insta
chatty
folks.
tonight. Come on, guys.
We got, it's funny, we said we got a bunch of callers on social media or a bunch of callers here. We got a bunch of callers here at the station already. Question regarding cells. Interesting. Wonder what that could be about.
So many things.
We got Larry screening today. Poor Larry. He's kind of new, so he's not used to the barrage of callers we get. Garrett, anything else?
No, but I need some nitric oxide.
I took 4 this morning. I feel great.
Did you hear anything about the earbuds that Apple uses?
Yes.
I don't know if you were talking about that, but the way that they communicate with each other.
Yeah, it sends a message right through your brain.
Cancer, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what a lot of suspect is there now. Yeah. That's why I use a wired headset.
Right.
I never use wireless. Bad stuff. So I should cover that too. That's good. I don't know if I have that in my notes here or something.
I believe it is.
You don't believe it is? That's right.
I do.
You do believe it is?
We talk about wireless headphones.
Oh, we do? Okay. Yeah.
Things.
See, the show we do, Sierra types this up for me. We do a TV show on this show as well, and Sierra types it up for me, and we put it on a teleprompter. So Sierra's my teleprompter operator. So she has to go through all my notes.
I know everything you say.
She knows everything. Whatever I'm going to say, she goes, I know he's going to say that. I know he's going to say that.
Well, not everything, because you can't really read the guy's handwriting.
That's true. Yes, I say, yes, she deciphers my notes, I should
I've
say.
gotten a lot better at reading his handwriting just by context.
Here we go.
Brains were looks, he would be the Brad Pitt of radio. That's why you listen to Dr. Joe Esposito on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. It's always fun. We have Andrew Longoria on a board today. Kind of nice. We don't usually have a mod here. A mod's on vacation this week, so we have Andrew joining us. Larry doing screenings. If you have any health questions, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Don't let Larry get bored in there. He's not bored today. I can tell the phones are lighting up already. So we're talking today about electromagnetic frequencies and how they affect your body. And what they are is they're microwaves. They're little waves that go through the air. And cell phones, Wi-Fi, these are the big generators of it. Not even the Earth produces some of them, but it's when you have too many of them where we start to have a problem. And so we explained in the first part of the show that your cells have a wall around them called a membrane, and they have something called calcium gates, or the calcium channels. And they open up, let a little calcium in, close again. When electromagnetic frequencies get in, they open up the floodgates and allow calcium to dump into the cells. Massive amounts of calcium. What happens is that calcium then interacts with certain chemicals, like superoxide, and it creates something called free radicals. Now, free radicals, we said, are like Pac-Man or acid. They eat through things. And that's when you start to do damage to your DNA. Now, your DNA is the thing that makes you you. And so if your body is altered DNA, you start producing abnormal cells. And this is a real serious issue. I remember years ago, I did a show, gosh, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. I was talking about electromagnetic frequencies. And my IT guy at the time said, "You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's stupid. That's a bunch of stuff, junk." And I said, "No, it's not." Well, we're going to put this in a Dr. Joe's right column. Because we used to say that you shouldn't put your cell phone next to your head because it can heat up the cells in the brain and cause brain damage and ultimately possibly cancer. And there's been some studies showing that this probably is. And he said it has nothing to do with it. If you ever read the little packet that's in your cell phone, open up that little thing and read it. It's going to have directions in there. And those directions are very clear. Do not place this phone next to your head. Where do you put your cell phone every day? Next to your head. Hold it a few inches away from your head. Use a speaker or a wired earpiece. Don't use wireless earpieces because the electromagnetic frequencies go bam right into your ear again. Never let a child put a cell phone next to their head. In fact, if you have a child and they're playing with your phone, put it on airplane mode because those electromagnetic frequencies, they're more sensitive than us old folks. And at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you what to do about all these things you can do to prevent the damage or certainly prevent some of the damage. But please, I'm begging you, don't put your cell phone next to your ear. It really causes some real serious problems. I'm going to start taking some callers. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We have a lot more to talk about, but lots of folks are hanging out here. Let me see, who was first? I think it was JC. There we go. JC, how can we make your day better? What are cells? Oh, well, your body's made up of cells. It's the smallest part of the body, and the cells are made up in different muscles and different the heart, the muscles, the spleen, the kidneys. Everything is made up of cells. So it's a small component that your body's made up of. And these cells have little walls around them called membranes, and that's how nutrients get in and out. Okay? Thank you. Okay, let's see who else we got here. I like the guy named Joe. We'll take Joe. Hey, Joe, how can we make your day better? All right, good boy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Sure. Yep. Good boy. Excellent. Good vegan boy. Excellent. Sure. Right. Sure. 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 Absolutely. Yeah, so, and yeah, okay, that's not uncommon. Yeah, the animal products cause so much inflammation. And again, for those of you who can't hear the questions, I know we aired this on social media too. Joe's been plant-based for a long time, can't eat animal products. And if you eat animal products, it causes bloody stools because it causes such an inflammatory reaction in the colon. The areas of the colon, some places are only one cell thick. So you have an inflammatory reaction, you could tear that colon pretty easily. So that's what's happening there. Yeah. Uh-huh, sure. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, vegan is not, and I agree. I just thought about that driving in today, as a matter of fact, Joe. Vegan is not healthy. You're right. Vegan is good, but you got to eat plant-based, not junk food. Right. Stay away from the processed junk. Exactly, Joe. I agree with you. So, thanks for your kind words, Joe. I appreciate it. All right, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. The phone number here at the studio, if you want to give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Mike, how can we make your day better? Oh, no. That's one of the things. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, so electromagnetic frequencies can definitely affect the immune system. Absolutely. And we all have a we all have an immune system. If you have a compromised immune system, another reason to stay away from electromagnetic frequencies. Absolutely. At the end of the show, we're going to talk about what you can do to avoid that. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's why I tell people, we used to have alarm clocks, and digital alarm clocks came along, and that started producing electromagnetic frequencies. And you can get a Gauss meter. I think you can get an app for it on your phone. And you get a Gauss meter. I think it's G-A-U-S-E or G-A-U-S-S. And get a Gauss meter, bring it up on your phone, and just walk around your house with it. And it'll register how much electromagnetic frequency you have. And if you go by your, back in the day, you'd put it next to your alarm clock, nee. But some people actually have reactions, I'm going to talk about this, to the electrical wires in their wall. So you can move your bed away from the wall, something we're going to talk about later, and see how you sleep. But you're right, anything that has electricity in it can create EMFs, yeah. Gauss, I think it's G-A-U-S-S, I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up and see it, but it's a meter to measure electromagnetic frequencies. Oh, well, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Those are the minimum amount of nutrients you should be taking every day. So if you want to keep the immune system strong, Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Also, very important, vitamin D. Because vitamin D is such a regulator of the immune system, and most of us are deficient. Oh, it's G-A-U-S-S. There you go. I had my Garrett and Sierra look it up for me. G-A-U-S-S. So vitamin D... Vitamin D is so important, and most of us are deficient. So if you're not getting about 10 to 20 minutes of sunlight every day on your face and arms, and maybe your chest and your legs, when you get your blood work done, always measure your vitamin D, because vitamin D is so important. We have a great vitamin D on my website, drjoe.com. The Super Greens, the Essential Source. Folks, if you're not willing to do anything else, do the Super Greens, the Essential Source. They're on the website as well. Mike, thanks for the call. Got to run. We're going up against a break. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking about electromagnetic frequencies today and how dangerous they are and how they're affecting your health. If you have any questions, any health questions, give us a call here at the studio, 844-44-Dr. My website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, over 1,000 hours of podcast, drjoe.com. You can make an appointment on drjoe.com as well to go see us. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back.
Message and data rates may apply.
Okay.
So 5G data networking is still under testing, last I heard. Do you have an update on the...
No, it's still in testing. The guy who invented it actually is now coming out and saying don't use it because the waves that are coming out of the 5G is so much higher than the 4G, and it's going to make life a whole lot easier from a technical standpoint. But I suspect, and I'll put this in the Dr. Joe is Right column a year or two from now, that it's going to cause a lot more issues. And people that work in this area, people that work on the towers and things, are starting to show health issues. So it's really a concern. But again, it's so new, we don't have the scientific research to prove it. But my thought is always, I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to take a chance on my health. So I don't know what to do about. I'm going to talk about what to do for 4Gs and keep your body healthy. And then when the 5Gs come out, we'll have to do a little more research because the research is still new. So, all right. Well, yes.
I got a few questions.
All right, Instagram coming through.
What is the distance that the waves can travel? Can they go through my jacket pocket or go up to my body if I'm charging my phone on the floor next to my bed? Yes. We're going to talk about how far that feet away. I want you to have your cell phone at least 10 feet away from you in your bedroom. I have mine about 20 feet away. So I double anything to just be careful, but at least 10 feet away. Yeah. Okay, and then going back to when you were talking about vitamin D, they said 20 minutes of sunlight can still be damaging, but sunscreen is also going through the skin barrier. So what has more pros?
Well, when your skin starts to turn red, that's when you stop. So everybody's different. Okay, I have Italian skin. I can do 20 minutes, no problem. Sierra has Hispanic skin. She's okay. Now, if you're very light-skinned, you might not be able to do 10 minutes a day. So when your skin starts to turn just a little red, that's when you stop. Okay, I'm not a fan of sunscreen. I'm sure we'll be doing a show on sunscreen when summer comes around. But get as much sunlight as you can, and that's the vitamin D3. It interacts with cholesterol and creates the vitamin D3 in your body. So, Mr. G.
What is your opinion on naturopathic doctors?
I'm okay with them. See, what we do in our office, we take naturopathy, homeopathy, plant-based diets, chiropractic. We take it all and put it in one place for you. So I've had a lot of naturopaths send patients to us. We've had a lot of homeopaths send patients to us. So we kind of take it all. We take it to a whole other level by incorporating a bunch of stuff. There we go. Got it. Yeah, but it's fine. I have nothing wrong with it. I think they're great. They're our colleagues.
Severe lightning and damaging straight line rain.
And that's it so far.
Nothing else, Sierra?
Nothing else for me.
All right. Storm past Atlanta, so we're good here. All right, good. Cool.
Oh,
Huh?
I just got one popped up. I have a client that had a stroke a year ago. He's 59. He's very stiff and getting worse.
Yes.
Anything you can do for him?
Absolutely. When you have a stroke, it cuts off the blood supply to one part of the brain. So if you have a stroke on the right side of your body, it's the left side of your brain because it crosses. It's called contralateral. Ipsilateral, the same side. Contralateral is the opposite side. So if he has trouble on his right side, the problem is on the left side of his brain. So what we do with stroke victims, we need to stimulate the part of the brain that's been damaged. And as we stimulate that part of the brain has a quality called plasticity. So the brain can actually rewire itself around the damaged areas or regenerate the damaged areas. So we have to activate the plasticity component of the brain to make the brain rewire itself. So what we do is we start to activate the weak side. Now we have to judge by the patient, because if a patient is too weak to handle, let's say, an adjustment on the right side of their neck for the left side of the brain, it's too close to the brain, that might be too much for them. So maybe we adjust just their low back on the right side, if it's a left-sided brain issue. And then we'll see, okay, you did well there. Let's try the mid-back. Let's try the wrist, elbow, shoulder. And we try to get closer and closer to the brain. Then we give them exercises to do to stimulate that part of the brain. So if they can move their arm, they just move their arm as much as they can. As we stimulate the contralateral part of the brain has the plasticity. So absolutely, positively, yes. They also need to give the brain nourishment. And this is where I keep missing it. Well, I keep missing it. The medical world many times misses it because they're not getting the nutrients into the body to make the body work properly. So super greens, essential source, nitric oxide increases circulation. The vitamin D is so important. Staying away from animal products. Stay away from saturated fats, animal saturated fats, fried foods, broiled foods. So there's a whole protocol we put together for everybody, especially for stroke patients. So if they want to come see us, we'd be more than happy to see them as a patient.
What is your what's your stance on essential oils?
I'm okay with essential oils, just make sure they're pure. Because a lot of times they'll have these things you plug into the wall and it's air fresheners made with essential oil. Made with and essential oil are two different things. If I have bread and it says made with whole wheat, that's not whole wheat. They added some whole wheat to it. Made with whole wheat is not the same as whole wheat. Made with essential oil is not the same as essential oils. I think they're great. We have essential oils diffusers in our offices. We have them to freshen the air, but also calms patients down. There's one for pain. There's ones that are aphrodisiacs. So you can kind of decide what oil you want based on what your needs are. But I'm perfectly fine with them.
Reminds me, we were just laughing. There's a famous fast food restaurant, and we were debating over the new slogan, and it's made with 100% real beef.
Uh-huh.
Well, whoever thought about that as a marketing campaign, like, now made with 100% real beef. What was it before?
Exactly. That's a good point.
Why not just make the statement made with 100% real beef? Drop the now.
Yes, now, right. What else you got?
Where's the best to put the phone while texting? On lap, holding in air? Are the frequencies coming from the bottom of the phone?
As far away from your body as possible is where you want to hold it. The closer to your crotch, we'll talk about this, those electromagnetic frequencies really affect the testicles and the ovaries. So the further away from your crotch, the better. Yes.
And it's not like a string. You can't like choose a part of the phone, like the camera or something, and say that it's like shooting a laser out the phone.
Right. It doesn't come straight out.
It's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It radiates.
Is putting on makeup bad because it's going through the skin cancer?
We're going to do a show on that. I know I've done one in the past. You go to the website, drjoe.com. Look on SoundCloud. I think we have it on there. But we've done cosmetics before. We'll do it again. The answer is yes.
Yeah, we have a women's health show coming up in May.
Okay, there you go. Good.
And we may do a spot.
Spot on set, yeah. Make sure you get the natural makeups. Sprouts usually has good prices on them if you have a Sprouts near you. But try to do the natural ones because the other ones so toxic to the body. Every lipstick ever tested that's a commercial brand has lead in it, and lead can get into the body. It's a heavy metal, can get into the brain. You gotta be real careful with makeups, yeah.
And what about makeup in general, clogging pores?
It clogs up pores.
That's all you're doing.
Oh no. The other thing too is this is something I hear all the time when people go to a plant-based diet, when they get chiropractic care, when they take things like super greens, essential source, nitric oxide, they use less makeup because they look so vibrant. Sierra, for example.
I just don't care.
News 95.5 at AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking today about electromagnetic frequencies. And if you don't know what they are, you need to know what they are because they're affecting you right now. They're affecting me right now. I'm here at the studio, and outside the studio we have these monster satellite dishes. Huge, size of buildings. Well, those are electromagnetic frequencies. So we're getting bombarded. Luckily in radio here, we're down here in the basement, so we're probably safer than the folks upstairs in television who are getting bombarded. And even in my office, my one office in Marietta, Georgia, we're built into the side of a hill. And so we don't get cell phone reception in the back of the office, which is wonderful. So that's kind of nice. So this is why I care. I care because I want to get you well and keep you well. And as your doctor, I want to get your nervous system working from chiropractic care. I want to get your digestive system working by adjusting the stomach if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. I want to make sure you're eating good foods. I teach you about diet. I want to get you on good supplements like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, minimum stuff you should be taking. But these are things that you need to take care of. I can't control your electromagnetic frequency exposure, but you can. And that's why I want to start thinking about this, because when the calcium channels in the cells open up and calcium gets into the cells and it creates free radicals, they attack the DNA, and now we have DNA damage. So it's really serious stuff that's happening. And the more we're exposed to them, because we're getting exposed to them everywhere we go. How many of us get frustrated like I do? I'm not getting reception on my phone. This is so aggravating. That's actually a good sign. It means you don't have a lot of probably don't have a lot of electromagnetic frequencies in that area. So it's really important that you try to avoid these as much as you can. I said at the end of the show, at the last part of the show, we're going to discuss all the things you need to do to take care of it. As a chiropractor, this is what concerns me most. The highest density of these calcium channels are found in the nervous system. And studies dating back to the 50s and the 60s show the nervous system is an organ that is most sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. So as a chiropractor, we deal with neck pain and back pain and shoulder pain and car accidents and sports injuries and numbness and tingling, and we're really good at fixing that stuff in most cases. And I have doctors that I've trained. All my doctors are handpicked by me. They're trained by me. And here's the thing, they're my personal doctors. And you don't get to practice in my office unless I trust you taking care of me. So my doctors are just amazing. And that's why patients come from all over the world to come see us. Because I've got really good doctors that I've trained with my knowledge, plus their knowledge. Man, it's awesome. And so we want to make sure you're getting the best care possible. So why do I care about electromagnetic frequencies? Because it affects the nervous system. Studies have shown that massive changes can occur in the structure of the neurons or the nerves, including cell death and what's called synaptic dysfunction. Your nerve is not a straight wire. Your nerve is a wire, it's got a gap in it called the synapse, and then it has another wire, then another gap called the synapse. And the reason it's in there is because the electrical impulses can travel over the synapses faster than over a regular nerve. So it speeds up the transmission of the nerves. And these synapses can be affected by a lot of things. Cannabinoids. The cannabinoid system is part of the synaptic system. And so there are certain chemicals that you produce internally to make the synaptic system work. But if you're doing things like electromagnetic frequencies, it can affect how the nerves work. And that's real serious stuff. So when the calcium absorption sites are activated, like let's say in the brain, they release the neurotransmitters and the neuroendocrine hormones. And so the consequences of electromagnetic frequency can be things like anxiety, depression, can stimulate autism, Alzheimer's disease. Some pretty serious stuff going on. So you may be having a lot of symptoms, you don't know why, and you're starting to realize that you've got electromagnetic frequency sensitivity issues. And I'll tell people, listen, take your cell phone and park it on the other side of your room, 10 feet away at least, if not more. If you're near a cell tower, at least 1,000 feet away. That's over 3 football fields. Oh, I never thought about that. Pretty serious stuff. Let's start taking some callers. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. And then we're going to come back to electromagnetic frequencies. We come back and talk about how it affects your heart and why you should never, ever carry your cell phone in your chest pocket. And ladies, never put your cell phone in your bra. Gary, how can we make your day better? Oh, Larry, I'm sorry. Hey, Larry. Sure. Sure. Could be a lot of things. The most common thing by far would be a pinched nerve in the low back, because the nerves in the low back control your back, hips, legs, knees, and ankles. So you might have heavy legs, leg pain, numbness, tingling. So that's probably the cause. Now, as the nerves exit the spine and go down into the legs, they also wrap around blood vessels. So if you have a pinched nerve, you also have a pinched blood vessel. So it could be a circulatory issue because of the pinching. And then also get the nerves control the circulatory issue. So the first thing I would check for you, Larry, is the nerves in the low back, see if they're being pinched. If your feet are cold, then we got to start digging a little deeper. Is it a circulatory issue? Is it diabetes? Then we got to dig a little deeper. Do you have cold feet? Okay, so it's probably not a circulatory issue then. So it's probably a pinched nerve. And if you want to come see us in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We'll take a look at it. If you have a pinched nerve, we'll go ahead and get it fixed. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. And folks, if you do want to make an appointment in the Atlanta area, we're in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love to be your doctors. So you can go to my website, drjoe.com. You can make an appointment there. Or when I'm not on the air during business hours, you can call 844-44-Dr.Joe, and you'll get right through to my offices, and we'll set you up a time to come see me and my rest of my doctors, because it's probably a decision you're going to be very happy you made. And the biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? I hear that all day, every day, and I wish I had a better answer for you. All right, let's see. John, how can we make your day better? Well, Dr. Diadamo wrote the book, Eating Right for Your Blood Type. I'm not sure I'm convinced that it's the best thing in the world. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I don't think it's going to be the end-all, be-all, because certain things, like I'm an A positive, and certain things in his book says I shouldn't be eating this, 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 and this, and yet I've tested myself with muscle testing, I've done blood work, and I'm perfectly fine with all that. So I'm not sure it's the end-all, be-all, but the thing I like about the book is it tells you to stay away from the bad foods no matter what your blood type is. So in that arena, I think it's excellent. So there's nothing bad about it, but I think going to a plant-based diet for everyone, I don't care if you're A, B, O, whatever it is, a plant-based diet I feel is the best diet for everyone. Okay? Thanks, John. And folks, if you have a question, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. We're talking today about electromagnetic frequencies and how they affect your body. And it's really a big issue because patients will come in and say, I'm tired all the time. I'm depressed. My memory doesn't work like it used to. The most popular one we see in our office as chiropractors is patients will come in and say, Doc, this low back pain just isn't going away. It's a little better since I've been coming to see you guys, but it's not 100%. And we look and they carry their cell phone in their back pocket. Now, let's say it's the right pocket. I'll say, which side is your pain on? The right side. All right, let's take the cell phone out of your pocket. And then when you get in your car, put it on the seat next to you. When you're in your office, put it far away from you. In your house, put as far away as you can. Hold it in your hand when you're walking, and let's see what happens. And almost always within a week or two, they'll come back and say, oh my gosh, my back pain is so much better. And I've had people with anxiety because they carry their cell phone in their shirt pocket or their vest pocket, or women put it in their bra. And your heart is very sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies as well, particularly the pacemaker cells of your heart, the one that makes it beat. And as they have a high density of these calcium absorption sites. And so what happens is when you put the electromagnetic frequency near the heart, it can cause major contributing problems like cardiac arrhythmias, atrial fibrillation, or flutter. Your heart can actually start to flutter. It can lead to things called premature atrial contractions, and that's not good, or tachycardia, which is a fast heartbeat, or bradycardia, which is a slow heartbeat. So another thing, once again, I'm going to warn you with children, don't put your cell phone next to your kid and put music on it so they go to sleep. Or don't let the kid play with it unless it's in airplane mode. Because these EMFs are so much more dangerous to children than they are adults, but they're really bad for adults. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. My website, drjoe.com. If you want to order supplements, make an appointment, listen to the podcast, send me questions. If you have questions, you can send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. And we have over 1,000 hours of podcast there for your listening pleasure. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. If you're like most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you experiencing hot flashes or fatigue? Do you suffer from sleep?
Okay.
Now, what are your thoughts on, is there any evidence of a connection between diet and atrial fibrillation?
Oh, absolutely.
Or between EMFs and atrial fibrillation?
Oh, yeah, that's what I just talked about. Did I just say that? Yes.
Pretty sure.
Definitely a correlation there. Diet as well, yes. I had a half a cup of chai tea 2 weekends ago. Half a cup. That much. Morning. First thing in the morning. I felt great, man. I was running around cleaning the house. I was feeling great. That night, I'm laying in bed. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. My heart, I could see it pounding in my chest. I am super sensitive to caffeine. And I didn't think a half a cup would have any impact on me 12 hours later. But the half-life of caffeine is 12 hours, which means half of it is out of your system in 12 hours. The other half takes 24 hours. So yes, absolutely positively. What I find most commonly with atrial fibrillations is the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm. It affects the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve controls your digestive system. It also controls your heart, calms you down. But if the stomach is up against the diaphragm, we have patients all the time with high blood pressure, rapid heart rate, called tachycardia. We adjust their stomach. Not only does their digestion get better, the heart rate settles down. So if you have any of those symptoms, come see us so we can fix the stomach.
Is there a way to help reduce appearance of capillaries?
You could try coconut oil on it, see if that helps. You could also try castor oil. Look up online how to make a castor oil pack and put it on there and see if that helps.
And also dark circles under their eyes.
That's always adrenal. Whenever I see dark circles, it's always adrenal. So I'd recommend Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support, Dr. Joe's Nitric Oxide for circulation, Super Greens, and Essential Source. That'd be the protocol I'd put together for you. And let's see what happens. Give it 2 months and see what happens. I think you'll be happy with the results.
What do you think of meat substitutes?
Meat substitutes are still processed, and so I eat them periodically. I like them. Most of them. Some of them taste awful. But they're still processed food, so it's not a health food. It's better than meat, but it's still not something that's great for you either. Okay, that's Lewis, our new intern, by the way, in case you wonder who that new voice was.
Would you recommend hyperbolic oxygen therapy?
Sure, hyperbaric.
Hyperbaric.
I'll give you half a bell for that one. Okay, good. Hyperbolic?
Yeah.
Okay, should be hyperbaric. Hyperbaric oxygen, absolutely. Stuff works great. Most of the small ones, the portable ones, aren't worth junk. They don't really work that well. You really need to get one that looks like an iron lung. Those work very well.
And if anything, what do you do to resist pollen?
I've never had a problem with pollen, but here's the thing. One of my coworkers, Angie, I was here in the studio last week, and she said, the pollen is killing me. And I said, I'm going to bring you some digestive enzymes, Angie. And they're Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. Because what happens is your stomach's job is to take proteins and break them into amino acids. If the proteins are not being broken down properly, they go into your small intestine and get absorbed, where the immune system has to attack them. And your immune system only has so many warriors, so many soldiers. So if you have a lot of things for the immune system to do, like pollen and digestive issues, the immune system just goes crazy. So many times when I fix their stomach, pull their stomach away from the diaphragm, and then get them on digestive enzymes, many cases, the pollen is not an issue. For me, nothing. I'm surrounded just like the pollen like you are. So.
I've noticed that since me and Garrett, it's been about 2 years since we started on our healthy journey, and I haven't had any allergy issues this year.
There you go.
And I used to have to get breathing treatments.
Wow, that bad. Okay, yeah. Once you get off wheat and dairy products, that really takes the stress off the digestive system. Go to a plant-based diet. Super Greens and Essential Source to help the body get the nutrients that it needs, and nothing. It's really neat. I'll be covered in pollen. I'll come home and wipe my hair, and it's yellow, and still nothing. So it's a good way to do it.
I'm finding it extremely hard to get the pollen out of my top, my car top.
Oh, yeah, you got a soft top, yeah.
It bakes in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, welcome to Georgia.
Every time I go to get in the car, and I like sit my hand on the top, and like squeeze in.
Yep.
Now, what do you think of the idea of putting a whole lemon in a blender, blending it up, and then freezing it in ice cubes?
Perfect, as long as it's an organic lemon, and wash it real good first. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, somebody taught me that a long time ago, not to ever put the lemons the slices that they give you at restaurants in your water.
Yeah.
Because it's not washed.
So the knife is dirty, the hands are dirty, absolutely, yeah. Got a lot of cell phone questions coming in here. Question about indecipherable poor cell phone connection.
Is there anything I can do to make my spider?
Ears are behind you.
We'll get to you
You're
next
wrong.
break.
Listen to Dr. Joe Esposito every week on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking today about electromagnetic frequencies, and apparently it's a very hot topic here because a lot of you have never heard of it before. And I can talk about things like eating right. You've heard about that. Chiropractic care. You've heard how wonderful that is. And now we're talking about EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and the phones are lighting up and social media is lighting up. Really important stuff. You need to know about this. So low levels, electromagnetic frequencies, exposure to cell phones, exposure from cell phones to an 8% reduction in sperm mobility. Because somebody sent me a question on social media and said, where's the best place to carry my phone? And the best place to carry it is in your hand. Because a third area, we talked about the nervous system, how it's affected by electromagnetic frequencies. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, this show is going to be on my website tomorrow, drjoe.com, and you can listen to the whole show along with over 1,000 hours of other shows. But we talked about the nervous system being affected by electromagnetic frequencies because it opens up the calcium channels, and calcium gets into the mitochondria and affects the mitochondria, produces energy, and affects the cells. And then it creates free radicals, and free radicals damage the DNA. That's what we covered for the past few minutes. The heart, we talked about how it can affect heart rate, tachycardia, irregular heart rate. So it's really important about being careful about putting a cell phone near your heart. And the third area is the reproductive system, because the densely populated, these calcium channels, are very high in the reproductive system, particularly the male testicles. Consequence here is impaired or reduced fertility. Now, there's evidence showing that electromagnetic frequencies can turn both male and female, can affect their fertility. Male fertility has been studied more, so that's why you hear more about it. Studies have linked electromagnetic frequency exposure in cell phones to 8% reduction in sperm motility, which is how they move around, and 8% reduction in sperm viability. 9%, I'm sorry. That's their ability to make babies. Wi-Fi equipped laptops, when you put them on your lap, it's been linked to decreased sperm motility and an increase in sperm DNA fragmentation after just 4 hours of use. Gentlemen, how many of you have put your Wi-Fi laptops on your lap and worked on them for more than 4 hours in a lifetime? Raise your hands. All of you better raise your hands. Wow, that's some serious stuff, man. We're businessmen. We're in airports. We got to work on a laptop and put it on a lap. Not a good idea. That's why it's called a laptop. So you got to be careful with that. Women who carry their cell phones in their bra. We have somebody on hold here. Marie, I'm going to answer this question. I'll take you on as a call in a second. But women who carry their cell phones in their bra, for example, increase risk in their of cancer in their upper inner quadrant of the breast. That's a very atypical place, and it's usually the upper outer quadrant of the breast. So when you put the cell phone near the breast, it can actually stimulate cancer cells in an area that normally isn't stimulated. Brain cancer, another possibility for extended cell phone use. If you keep your phone next to your ear, I talked about that earlier. In most people's cell phones, they put it next to the ear, they can develop brain cancer. Now, it's few and far between. It's not going to happen all the time. The problem is brain cancer latency period is usually a decade or more. So you're using your phone now going, I'm getting away with it, I'm getting away with it, I'm getting away with it. 10, 15, 20 years from now, you run the risk. Hey, let's assume I'm wrong. I say this in just about every show. Let's assume I'm wrong. So what? I'm wrong. Don't put your cell phone next to your ear. Don't put it in your front pocket. Don't put your laptop on your lap. I'm going to talk about nutrition things that you can do as well for this. And if I'm wrong, so what? But if I'm right, which I am, you're going to regret not listening to me when the time comes and you develop these issues too. So in the next segment, we're going to do a new segment of the show. It's called Dr. Joe Head to Toe. And we're going to talk about different parts of the body and things that you need to know about different parts of your body. It's going to break away from electromagnetic frequencies. We're going to come back to them again. But Dr. Joe Head to Toe, we're going to be talking about your hair. And you're going to be amazed how much information we can get from your hair regarding everything about you and the things that you can do to get well just by doing hair analysis. It's kind of cool stuff. All right, let's start taking some callers here. Marie, how can we make your day better? Uh-huh. Yes. Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we do. Yes, you do. Absolutely. Those are free radicals. So if we take antioxidants, like when I started going gray, I started just a few grays here and there. I started taking selenium. And when I took selenium, all my gray hair went away. So for me, because the reason was I did a hair analysis, which we're going to talk about at the top of the hour. I did a hair analysis, found that I was selenium deficient, started taking selenium, and my gray hair went away. So it is a hydrogen peroxide. Sure, go ahead. Sure. Uh-huh. Okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Yes. What? Yeah, well, it could be. The doctor has the right to dismiss. As long as it's not life-threatening, we have the right to dismiss any patient we want to. But that's okay. If you're looking for more holistic doctors, of course, from a chiropractic and nutrition standpoint, come see us. We work with some very good holistic medical doctors as well. We trade patients back and forth all the time. And we work with neurosurgeons, vascular surgeons, and doctors that think like we think. We want to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. So All right, Marie, thanks so much for calling. I appreciate that. Let's see, we get one more call in here. John, how can we make your day better? You're a good man, John. I like you. Any questions? The ketogenic diet is okay. I don't like the fact that they push a lot of animal products. Of course, I don't do animal. And the research on ketogenic diet is this. You don't want to do it for more than a month or two at a time because it's starting to show that it may be linked to heart disease or heart problems. So it's a great way to lose weight. And here's the thing. If you just give up your breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas, your carbohydrates, you eat a good plant-based diet, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, Dr. Joe super greens every day, you're going to lose weight. The ketogenic diet is a good guideline, but just be careful with it. You don't want to do it for more than a month or two at a time. You got to take a break for about a month or two, then you can go back to it again. How about that? Great, John. Cold feet, it could be a pinched nerve, it could be a circulatory issue. It's usually one of those two things. So bring her to come see us. We'll check the nerves in the low back and see if there's any pinched nerves. And then if it's a circulatory issue, we can get her on a good diet, get her on super greens and essential source to give her some phytochemicals to help strengthen up the blood vessels, and then maybe some nitric oxide to increase the circulation. So we want to get the physical causes and the chemical causes. We'll get to that and get it fixed for her. How about that? Oh. I'll look forward to seeing both of you, John. Thanks so much. Got to go to break. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. When we come back, we'll do a new segment of the show. It's called Dr. Joe Head to Toe. We're going to talk about your hair and what you can find out about your hair, even when I found out why I was going gray. And then the things you need to do about it. And then the last half of the show, we're going to talk about the things you need to do to prevent electromagnetic frequency from causing some really serious damage in your life. The phone number here, 844-44-Dr. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back.
Head to toe.
What'd I say?
Dr. Joe.
What'd I say?
Dr. Joe, head to toe.
Oh, oops.
You always say it backwards.
It's your segment, that's why.
Come over here in a second.
Me?
Yes.
And I'll give you these going
Your
down.
hair? I got a brush.
I'm going to give you these going down.
Okay, good. Always tell me. I appreciate it.
Okay, what are your thoughts on vaccines, specifically the number of vaccines we give babies all at once? But is it better to spread them out?
When I was young, I think I got 4 vaccines. Now we have...
Altogether?
What?
4 altogether?
Altogether. That was it. We had polio.
MMR?
I don't know if we had MMR even. I think we just had measles. I didn't think we had MMR. It was just measles back then. Polio, I think we only had like 4, and it was spread out. Now, if you're the average teenager and you follow the schedule, you're going to have about 57 or 59, I forget. A lot of good information on vaccines. Go to Mercola.com, Dr. Joe Mercola, Mercola. Go to, log in, go to his newsletters, and just type in the word vaccine, and you'll get more information you can imagine. I'm not a fan of the things they put in the vaccines called adjuvants, especially things like mercury and aluminum. So I'm not a fan there. So my feeling is everyone has to make this decision on their own. I tread lightly when it comes to vaccines because it's a hot topic and I don't want to get into debates with people. My feeling is if you keep your body healthy, you're much less likely to get sick. I'm not happy with how many they give and I'm not happy with the schedule. So I'll answer that question, yes.
I feel like that's just, you put money behind, I guess what...
Big Pharma?
Yeah, well, not even just Big Pharma, but like anytime you put money like that behind something or policy-wise money behind
Yeah, I don't like
something.
policies being made. I think, I kind of agree with people that are libertarian when it comes to that. It's your life. We shouldn't dictate how you live your life.
Like Ron Swanson?
Like Ron Swanson. There you go. Yes, the great Ron Swanson, yeah. I don't think we should legislate lifestyles. So, but that's, if you get healthy, I don't think you have to worry too much about things like that. So, yes.
Okay, what type of water do you think is best to drink?
What is it? Pure Life, Garrett, is the company I use.
Filter?
Yes, Pure Life Water, Georgia.
Pure Life Water, Georgia. You can tell them I sent you. I have their water filter in my house. Distilled is the best. It's not practical. It's expensive. I don't do that because it's not practical. It's expensive. A good filtered water, reverse osmosis is the next best. Also pretty wasteful. Good filter. I have a whole house water filter. Every drop of water that goes in my house is filtered. So if you have to ask what's the best, it would be distilled. So.
Okay, and then I know that you have some previous shows about this, but what about anti-anxiety pills, thoughts for major depression to help balance brain chemicals?
Go to my website, drjoe.com. We cover this topic a lot, but here's the thing with depression. Every anxiety and depression patient I've ever seen in 35 years of seeing patients, they have digestive issues. The stomach's job is to take proteins and break them into something called amino acids. The amino acid tryptophan combines with vitamin B6 and creates a chemical called 5-HTP. 5-HTP becomes serotonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter in your brain that deals with anxiety and depression. So we give you specific serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, to utilize the serotonin that you have, utilize it more efficiently. My approach is let's just make more serotonin. And we do that by pulling the stomach away from the diaphragm and getting the stomach to break proteins into amino acids. I'll also put people like that on Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes to help break down the food more efficiently. And in almost every case, the results are just outstanding. So I'd rather get to the cause of the problem and not just treat the symptom on everything, including this. So come see us, and we do it. Yes, Lewis.
What can be done for sleep apnea, and how do we know if they wrote androids, I think they might have meant adenoids are inflamed?
The androids are inflamed?
Androids. This chiropractic.
Yes, well, sleep apnea, I find, is usually several things. Number one, the fourth cervical nerve is the phrenic nerve. It controls the diaphragm. So you have a pinched nerve in the neck that can affect diaphragmatic movement, which can affect breathing. The other thing we just talked about with the stomach, and I see this in every sleep apnea patient I've ever seen, the stomach is up against the diaphragm. So when you're standing, gravity is helping your diaphragm drop down and suck air into your lungs. That's how it works. It's like a bellows. When you lay down, you don't have gravity, so the stomach can push up against the diaphragm. Diaphragm can't go down, you can't get air in your body, and you gasp for air. So every case I've ever seen of sleep apnea, I've been doing this for a long time, we adjust the stomach, we check the fourth cervical nerve, we get them on an anti-inflammatory diet, cut out the wheat, the dairy, the meats, the sugars, the sodas, the artificial sweeteners, and almost every case the sleep apnea is resolved. So we're really good at that.
What about grinding your teeth?
That could be stress, because what happens is when you go to sleep, you go into something called sleep paralysis. When you're sleep paralysis, you don't act out your dreams, which is a good thing because we've all had weird dreams. But you don't lock your jaw. You don't paralyze your jaw. So many times it's the only muscle you can actually move. So what we try to do then is find out why is the person having problems. Are they having anxiety and depression? Maybe we got to fix their stomach. Maybe we got to get them on some supplements, get them on super greens, an essential source so their brain works more efficiently. Chiropractic care to get them out of pain. Because they have pain that can cause sleep problems. So we try to get to the cause of the problems all the way across the board, and many times the grinding of the teeth goes away. So come see us.
I'm not sure what this is. Kangen water. Is it worth a $2,000 machine?
Oh, the alkalized water.
Okay.
I have no problem with alkalized water. The problem is you don't need alkalized water if you have a good diet. If you're drinking alkalized water, you're treating the symptom, which is too much acid. If you eat a good diet, you don't have too much acid, so you don't need the alkalized water. So I'm not against the process. I'm against the reason you're taking it, which is getting to the cause of the problem. Things like super greens, an essential source, excellent for alkalizing the system. Plant-based diet, alkalize the system. It's not hard to do, folks. It's pretty easy.
Is there anything you can do for spider veins?
Spider veins, we talked about that earlier. You can try castor oil patches or castor oil packs. You can look it up online how to do it. We use a linen cloth, and you put castor oil and heat it up. Also, Dr. Joe's nitric oxide can open up the circulation as well. But many times once they're there, they may be there because they already burst, so they're under the skin like that. So, but you can try those two things. It's certainly worth a shot. So,
what type of diet would you recommend for anemia?
Well, it depends on what causes the anemia. So here we go. You always want to make sure that, I would say Dr. Joe Super Greens, Dr. Joe Essential Source, great source of iron. Anything red or green is going to give you iron. Red beans, strawberries, cherries, green leafy vegetables, anything red or green is going to give you iron. So I would get on a good plant-based diet, take the Super Greens, the Essential Source, and that should help. If it doesn't, then we have to start checking to see if you have any internal bleeding. You might want to go to a gastroenterologist to make sure you don't have any internal bleeding, which would be why you're wasting your iron. So that's what I would try. I would try the diet first. If that doesn't work, then I'd go to the gastroenterologist.
All right. What supplements are good for someone with IBS and gastritis?
Super Greens, an essential source, always. Vitamin D, of course, for inflammation. But you also want to, and digestive enzymes are going to be key. But you got to check the stomach, because every IBS case I've ever seen in 35 years, the stomach is up against the diaphragm. We need to pull it away from the diaphragm.
Instagram, we will be right back.
We need to do aligners. Can you hear me now?
All right, can we do them at the 8:30 break or?
Yeah, we can do them then. Sure.
Okay, good, because we're about to come back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one out. Nick says he has a legit question tonight.
No way, Nick. I don't believe you.
Why can't I gain weight? He's tried everything.
I gotta go. I'm gonna come back real soon. When I come back, I'll tell you what.
Don't forget Head to Toe with Dr. Joe.
Oh, thank you. So I have 3 producers, and a board op, and a screener, because I can't do this on my own. I ain't that schmuck. I need you guys to my handlers here.
Oh no.
Yeah, there was a light out coming in. Traffic light was out. I saw that.
WSB meteorologist Kurt Malish with the most accurate and dependable forecast for this
That's right. I forgot about the liners, and Ahmad forgot about the liners because he's not here.
Another shower or thunderstorm in the early evening. High around 77, low 44. Tomorrow, sunshine, breezy, much cooler. High 67, low 46. Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm. High 78.
Somebody else has a question about alkaline water. God, every show. Alkaline water, erectile dysfunction, and what's the other one?
Keto.
Ketogenic diet. So we got 2 to 3 so far. So.
And IBS is a pretty popular one
Yeah.
too.
The information presented on this program is not
That was
intended
real
to take
popular
the
when I
place of
first
your
started.
personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you've been with us for a while, thanks for staying. I really appreciate that. I know everybody's really busy. So I was talking to Shane the other day, one of my bosses, and we were saying, how can we make the show better? We always want to make the show better, although I think we're the #1 health and wellness radio show in the world already, but we want to stay there. We want to stay at #1. So Shane said we should put together a little segment every week, a special segment. So Garrett, in his infinite wisdom, said we're going to put together a segment. And Garrett, what's it called? Because I always get it wrong.
He never gets it right.
Oh.
Head to toe with Dr. Joe.
There you go. Head to toe with Dr. Joe, not Dr. Joe head to toe. So we do head to toe with Dr. Joe. So every week, we're going to cover a different part of the body and what you need to know about that part of the body specifically. So we're starting at the top with hair. So when it comes to health analysis and nutrition analysis, patients come to us. We have them fill out a diet diary. We have them write down everything they eat. We do a symptom survey or system survey. We find out what the systems are. And then we put together a protocol for them. And so you can do blood work. You can do kinesiology, which, of course, we do all the time. Computer analysis, blood tests. Those are all good. But there's another one that you probably never heard of. And that's a hair analysis. Now, nutritional physiology, the cells where at the cellular level, where nutrition goes in and out, it takes place there and not within the blood or any other location. So we can take your blood, and the problem with blood, it's very good for certain things, but it's not good for other things because your blood has to maintain a certain level. It has to be within a certain parameter or else you die. So your body does everything it can, let's say if it becomes too acidic, to stay alkaline. So if you eat an acid diet, like alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas, the body is giving up calcium from the bones to neutralize the acids. So we take a pH of your blood, your pH is fine. But there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that are causing problems. So when we start testing the cells, that's where the physiology occurs. So tissue mineral analysis is kind of unique. It's relatively inexpensive, and it provides information directly about the cellular activities. And that's the main site of metabolism, is at the cells. So a couple of things. Detoxing heavy metals. It can detect heavy metals. Now, as a chiropractor, this is very important to me because heavy metals can affect the nervous system. And my job as a chiropractor to make sure that the message is getting from the brain down the spine, out to the body, and back up. I want to make sure I protect your nervous system. Now, think about how amazing your body is. Your body, in its infinite wisdom, protects the most important organ in the body, which is what? Your brain. And it puts it in the hardest casing it can produce, called bone. And then it protects the spinal cord with your vertebrae. Now, the good news is that we have 24 vertebrae, and they're very mobile, and you can bend and move. The problem is that because they're so mobile, they can come out of place and pinch nerves. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, chances are it's a pinched nerve. Might be something more. But if you want to come see us, we can analyze that and try to determine what the best course of attack would be to get to the problem. I had a patient come in the other day. She came to me years ago, and this happens often. And she didn't follow her treatment plan. She got out of pain. She stopped coming in. I always tell people there's 2 phases of care. Phase 1 is get you out of pain. Phase 2 is fix the problem. If you quit after phase 1, you're wasting your time and your money. So she came in years ago, got out of pain in a few visits, thought we were the coolest people in the world, stopped coming to see us. She didn't listen to us. So anyway, pain came back. She got an analysis. She had an MRI. They said you needed surgery. She had surgery, and then the surgery failed. It's called failed low back surgery syndrome. And she had this condition, and now the pain is worse than ever. And I'm not against surgery. Please understand that. This one just didn't work for her. So she came in and she said, Dr. Joe, will you take me back as a patient? I'm sorry I didn't do what you said. Please take me back as a patient. She begged, and I said yes. And I said curiously, I said, how much was your copay for the surgery? She had insurance. Her copay, out of pocket, $18,000. Now, had she stayed with us and finished the probably 6 or 8 weeks more of care that I wanted her to have, maybe she didn't need the surgery. She certainly would have saved $18,000 if she didn't have the surgery, and chances are she probably wouldn't be in pain anymore because we would have stabilized the spine. So it's really important that you get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. And when it comes to detecting heavy metals can cause problems. We have heavy metals everywhere. They're in a car exhaust. They're in vaccines. They're in your teeth if you have metal fillings. They're in fish now. Mercury is being found in just about every fish known to man. And if you have heavy metals, it can cause fatigue, infections, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, linked to these things. Not necessarily causing it, but certainly linked to them. Routine blood tests can't detect heavy metals. Hair analysis can. And it's really neat when we see that. We show people how to detox from that. Emotional issues. Biochemical imbalances can contribute to other issues, can contribute to these things because of heavy metals and other things we can detect in the hair. Now, there's no other tool that I know of that comes close to testing mineral levels in the body. Because again, the blood work, so-so. Nutritional suggestions can then be made. And I told the story earlier, a couple of years ago, I started to detect a few gray hairs. Now, I was still I'm old, and I was not surprised to see it. But when I did my hair analysis, I found out I was deficient in selenium. So I started taking selenium. Now, be careful. Don't take selenium unsupervised because too much of it can be toxic. And my gray hair went away. So it's pretty cool stuff. Now, that was me. That may not be you. Everybody's a little different. So you can rebuild the body's energy mechanisms. We talked a lot about the mitochondria earlier, where we were talking about the mitochondria in the cells and how too much calcium can get into the cells from electromagnetic frequencies and cause damage to the mitochondria. So tissue analysis can be used to assess the efficiency of the energy system in the body, including things like citric acid cycles. We can determine how well the body is utilizing energy and producing energy. And there are certain oxidative types. This is Dr. George Watson. He discovered people burn food at a more rapid rate than normal. Some people are slow metabolizers. I am a slow metabolizer. So knowing that I'm a slow metabolizer changes the way I eat. Because I can't eat a lot of things. Like some people say, how come he never gains weight? Well, he's a fast metabolizer. Could be an adrenal problem. The adrenal glands could be hyperactive, making you a fast metabolizer. The adrenal glands burn out, then you become a slow metabolizer. And you're thinking, all of a sudden I'm gaining weight. What's wrong? Maybe it's adrenals. Maybe it's a thyroid. We can do an analysis with the hair and find that out. So there's actually mathematical formulas that we use to find out exactly what we need. So in a hair analysis, it's real simple to do. We just cut a little bit of the hair off the back of your head. If you're bald, we can use any hair in the body. And we can even send you the kit. If you don't want to come into the office, we can send you the kit. And then we can do an analysis with it and discuss with you what we find. When we come back, we're going to do head to toe with Dr. Joe. We've got a little bit more about hair analysis. We're starting at the top and working our way down. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you have a question, call the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe. We'll get you on the air if we have a good question. My website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, drjoe.com. You can order supplements, make appointments, come see us. It's all there, drjoe.com. We'll be right back.
All right.
Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches. Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. Okay. Questions?
That one. It's supposed to be the tease into the last hour, or into the last segment.
Oh, at this break?
Yeah.
Oops.
Because this is a commercial break, or this is a promo break.
So before this, I should have done the tease.
Right. So
okay.
I'm trying to line them up with the promos.
Got it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Remind me. I forgot.
No. I did too.
Okay.
So back to Nick.
Hey, Nick, a real question. I don't believe it.
So he's having trouble gaining weight. He's tried just about everything.
Okay. So a couple of things, Nick. A, you're digesting your food. You have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. If that's the case, we got to get your absorption working. So we need to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, and from a chiropractic standpoint, adjust the nerves going into that area. Okay, that would be number one. Number two, nuts are very good to gain weight. A couple of handfuls of nuts every day. I eat them every day. If I eat more than a couple of handfuls of nuts, I start putting on weight. Avocados, do about 2 or 3 a day. Aldi has the cheapest avocados I ever found if you're in the Atlanta area, so I'll give them a free plug there. And so nuts and avocados are a great way to gain weight. But if you're still not gaining weight, you could be a high metabolizer like we're talking about. If you want to come and get a hair analysis, we can find that out, and then we can give you a better determination. But try the nuts and the avocados and see how we do.
And anti-Dr. Joe would suggest a lot of beer.
Yeah, anti-Dr. Joe would say, beer, eat more beer. With beer nuts.
What should I take for RA?
Wow, how much time we have? That's an autoimmune disease. If you go to our website, drjoe.com, we've done shows on immunity. Now, the way the website works right now, we're changing it. Go to media, and you'll have a little link that says SoundCloud, Dr. Joe's radio shows, and then you'll have Dr. Joe's YouTube channel. The reason we have SoundCloud is before we started streaming on YouTube, we did a lot of shows before that. So they're all on SoundCloud. So I would go to SoundCloud and type in immunity and listen to those shows. You got to avoid alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Absolutely, positively. That's an autoimmune diet. That's everybody's good diet. Vitamin D, if you haven't got your vitamin D levels checked, get them checked. I would recommend 5,000 international units a day. Start taking it right now. We have it on the website, drjoe.com. Super Green's an essential source. Alkalize the system. The body's attacking itself. You got to calm down the immune system. So that if you have digestive issues, acid reflux, heartburn, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, come see us so we can fix that. Chiropractic helps stabilize the immune system as well. So it's a whole protocol to follow, more than we have time to give you today, but the website will have it.
3 questions, real quick.
Go ahead. Hurry up.
Is there selenium capsules on the website?
No.
Would you recommend us practicing intermittent fasting?
Yes.
Minimum of
twice a week.
And is medical marijuana from a licensed dispensary safe to take?
We're going to talk about that Thursday at 2 o'clock at the Goat Farm. Come out. I'm going to be a speaker at an event. What's the event called?
HB 420 Summit.
HB 420 Summit. And I'm going to be a speaker at 2 o'clock. Come out and I'll give you that answer.
We may even live stream it.
Oh, I didn't think about that. We'll live stream it then. So tune in then.
I have been on antihistamine for about 10 years on a daily basis. Are there any side effects?
Yeah, a lot. When you're on an antihistamine, you got to find out why you're having a histamine reaction. Number one, you got to check the stomach. You're not digesting your food. It goes into the small intestine. Big chunks of food get absorbed into the blood, cause a histamine reaction. Number two, if we pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, acid may be irritating your sinuses. That could be causing it. Number three, you have to give up alcohol, wheat, and dairy products. You have to give them up. Those are the 3 top things that will cause a histamine reaction. Stop it. Super Green's an essential source, just off the chart amazing for everything. That'll help stabilize the immune system. And then come see us because we got to check the nervous system. We got to check the stomach to find out why you have this. The answer is a resounding yes.
All right. My big toe on my left foot goes numb in the morning
Okay.
and sometimes at night. What could be causing it? I do stand up at work a lot.
Pinch nerve at the 4th lumbar vertebrae. 4th lumbar vertebrae controls that area. So come see us. We'll adjust that lumbar vertebrae because that nerve also controls the colon, sex organs, and bladder. So you're affecting your colon, sex organs, and bladder. You want to come see us for that.
Why every so often does the back of my eyes hurt?
Could be sinus issues because the sinuses are back there. Could be a pinched nerve in the neck. Could be the occiput out of place. So it's probably something physical. And so if you want to come see us, we can check that whole mechanism up here and see what's pinching that area. So we've got to come back in just a second here. So. Alkaline Water
Can you
question.
use colored hair for a hair test? Like dyed hair?
You can, yes. Because they break it, the color is only on the outside. They go into the inside stuff. There we go.
And staying out of the doctor's office. Get stronger and healthier with Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Thanks for being with us. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're talking today about electromagnetic frequencies and how they can affect your body. And it's really serious stuff, and we're all exposed to it every day. And in the next, not after this segment, but the segment coming up after that, I'm going to go into what you need to do on a daily basis to protect yourself. This is not a game, folks. This is not a drill. You are being bombarded by electromagnetic frequencies. They are opening up the calcium ion channels in your cells, dumping mega amounts of calcium into the blood, into the cells. reacting with peroxidase, which is causing free radicals, and free radicals are attacking the DNA and the mitochondria, and it's altering your cell function. Very, very serious, and you don't want to play games when it comes to electromagnetic frequencies. But first, we're doing a little segment now, head to toe with Dr. Joe, and we're talking about, starting at your top, your hair, and now we're talking about hair analysis. So if you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. And what we can find by analyzing the hair, most people think about blood work or urine samples. Not many people think about the hair. It can assess organ function, gland function, tissue function. Levels and ratios of tissue minerals related to the activity of certain organs can be calculated. When we calculate the ratio of tissues, we can figure out the function of the major organs, and we can assess that long before abnormalities show up. So a lot of times we find things in a hair analysis that you're not aware of. Monitoring progress. Common problem with nutritional therapy is we really can't monitor it, but with the hair analysis, we can do follow-up hair analysis and say, yes, this is much better. I like it for certain things over blood tests. I like blood tests for other things too. We do a blood test in our office where you prick your own finger and we do a blood sample, and we can test for food allergies. So a lot of folks come to us for food allergies for that. We can do a hormone panel for men. We can do a female hormone panel. We can do the food allergy test. So we can do a lot of testing in our office, and the nice part is we can actually, in most cases, we can actually send you the kits, and you can do it yourself and then send it back to us. We'll do the analysis for you. So if you want more information on that, that's all on the website, drjoe.com. If you have questions, you can always call the office, 844-44-Dr.Joe. That number you can call now to get on the air with questions. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. So the hair analysis is real simple, relatively inexpensive. We just cut a little bit of hair off. We send it into the labs. We get the analysis. We go over it with you. It's really cool stuff. So if you'd like to do a hair analysis, you can call the office. And if you call the office, you can ask for Kayla or Tara. They're the one. Anybody can get you information, but Kayla or Tara are the ones in charge of that department. And we can go ahead and get that set up for you. And if you're already a patient, just ask us when you come in. But the food allergy testing, very simple test, no big deal. We'd be more than happy to do that for you as well. The hormones are really important too, because so many people don't know where the problems are coming from. Many times a hormone issue. And then once we get the results, this is what's cool about us, is we can give you step-by-step things to do about it. A lot of times people come in and say, Doc, I say, yes. They say, I went to my other doctor and they gave me this test and they found that I have blank. Whatever it is, osteoporosis, let's say. Okay, what do you do? Osteopenia, that's a good one. It's early osteoporosis. What do you do about it? They're going to monitor me. Well, if you have it and you don't do anything different, it's just going to get worse. We actually try to give you a protocol that you can do to try to get the body healthy. So it's kind of cool. But all the tests are on the website, drjoe.com. Let's take a few callers. When we come back after that, we're going to talk about the things you need to do to prevent electromagnetic frequency damage for you and your family. Omar, how can we make your day better? Very good. Yeah, alkaline water. Now, I'm not against alkaline water, but here's the thing. You drink alkaline water, so it's promoted to alkalize your system because you're too acidic. Well, there's the answer right there. You're too acidic. So drinking alkaline water is only treating the symptom. It's not treating the cause. The cause is your body's too acidic. What makes your body too acidic? Eating a bad diet. Things like alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Pretty much the standard American diet. So it's like, I don't know, squirting water on a fire, but then throwing gasoline on it as well. You got to stop putting the gasoline in there. So if you want to alkalize your system, you very simply avoid alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener. I suggest taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, because what I found, it alkalizes the body way more efficiently than alkalized water. So Super Greens and Essential Source, one of the many amazing things it does is alkalize the system. Cut out the bad foods. You're going to get so many benefits by doing that you won't need the alkaline water. Okay? Thanks, Omar. And folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you have a question, we're here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe. We're talking today about electromagnetic frequencies and what they do to your body, and it's really bad. And again, if you're just tuning in, we've covered a lot of it. We got about another half hour after this. But you can go to my website tomorrow, drjoe.com. This show will be up there, and you can listen to the whole show in its entirety. I want you to follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram because we live stream our shows, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you want to see my pretty face, you get to live stream it. We also take those and put them on our website as well, drjoe.com. And you can see, oh gosh, we got well over 1,000 podcasts of audio and video there. We want to be your doctors. We want to get you well and keep you well. So if you have health issues, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, if you've ever been in a car accident, ever, If the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. I've been in practice 35 years or 34 years. I've been seeing patients for longer than that. I've never seen a car accident where the car was damaged where the occupants weren't. So if you've ever been in a car accident, for you, your friends, your family, and your children, get to see us immediately. If it was 50 years ago, do it today. If it was yesterday, do it today. We want to get you in as soon as possible. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We work with almost all insurance companies. If we're not in network, sometimes it's out-of-network benefits. We try to match your benefits as close as possible. We're very good about that with our patients. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, drjoe.com, make an appointment. We even take Medicare. Hey, Ron, how can we make your day better? Okay, quickly, we're up against the time clock here. What's your question? We're up against the clock here, so what's your question? Okay, I'm not a big fan of individual amino acids, and the only reason is that when they're individual, many times they're too concentrated. So for example, if you take glutamine, glutamine by itself in a small form is great. It helps produce GABA and other neurotransmitters. If you take glutamine in an isolated form, like monosodium glutamate, it can cause some real serious neurological issues. So I'm not a big fan of amino acids by themselves. What I recommend is take Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes, which helps break down your food and free up the amino acids. But I like amino acids in their whole food form. So as we get older, if you're over 40, or if you have digestive issues, I recommend Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes. I take them every time I eat a cooked meal. I took them today. And they help break down the food more efficiently. So that's what I'd recommend as opposed to individual amino acids. Okay? Okay. Yeah, once again, it's being utilized, but too much in a concentrated form is not something I'm a big fan of. I'd rather take it in a whole food form and have your body digest it more efficiently. So Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes, I find, work way better than individual amino acids. Okay? Thank you, sir. Yeah, in fact, like I said, this weekend I was shoveling wood chips. I had a big pile of wood chips at my house, and I had to get it done before rain was moving in. And so after I did all this work, 8-10 hours of shoveling wood chips, I took digestive enzymes because the amino acids can help break down inflammation as well. So I take those, digestive enzymes help break down inflammation. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. My website, drjoe.com, over 1,000 hours of podcasts. You can order the supplements there. You can make an appointment to come see us. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to help get you well and keep you well. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Do me a favor. Tell your friends about the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
I keep track of
Okay, got to do the liners now. Liners? Forgot to do them. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. This week we're talking about electromagnetic frequencies. You need to listen to this because it may be affecting your health, and we're going to teach you what to do about it. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. This week on our show, we'll be discussing electromagnetic frequencies, those radio waves that come from things like your cell phones, and we're going to give you things that you need to do to fix the problems. Hey, we're talking about electromagnetic frequencies, those waves that come out of things like cell phones and microwaves, and how they're affecting your health and what you need to do to protect yourself. This week on the Dr. Joe Esposito Show. Bam. One take. And done.
Such a professional.
I know. How about that?
Can we do hair analysis on toddlers?
Yes.
And how much is a hair analysis?
I got to call the office. I don't know the exact number.
It also depends on your health insurance because some health insurance will cover it.
Oh, that's true too.
Preventative.
Yeah. Yeah. Call the office, ask for Tara or Kayla, and they will give you all that information.
Hi, Dr. Joe. Is your essential source in supergreens organic?
No, it's not, but they're tested for pesticides. And the reason they're not organic, we may come out with an organic version, is the price was astronomical because we put so much nutrients in there. But they're perfect. There's no pesticide residue at all. So that's why they're not organic, because we found we did a survey on patients and they just couldn't afford it. So.
How would you get rid of an 8-year-old's stomach ache? How do I know it's the liver?
How do you know? I don't know. How do I know? Well, we can do a liver test on it. We can bring them to a doctor and get blood work done, check for that. There's a place in Atlanta called Any Test. I think they're all over the country. You can go in and get a blood work done, test for liver, do a liver panel. But chances are the stomach is up against the diaphragm. I see that all the time in children. That causes the stomach ache. When you pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, it's a whole new world. You get a whole new kid on your hands. Because a lot of times with kids like that, you start to see things like ADD. And if you've listened to my shows on ADD or go to my website under blog, I have a great article on ADD, and it really explains how it's all tied into the new digestive system. You'll be amazed at the results when you fix the stomach. So bring them in. We'll take a look at them.
What do you think of crystal geyser water?
I don't know that one specifically, but always read the labels because many times it'll say from a municipal source. Like one of them, I can't remember the name, it's in Smyrna. They use tap water in Smyrna. And they bottle it, Smyrna, Georgia. And they bottle it and they sell it as you know, a bottled water. Well, it's bottled water, but it's just tap water. I'd much rather you get a Pure Life water filter like I have at my house. It's much better. So, and much cheaper in the long run. Expensive up front, but cheap in the long run.
Is reflexology a safe route to go for healing of a lot of disorders or diseases?
It's very safe. There's no downside to it, but I'm not sure it's going to fix everything you need either. So yes, it's very safe. Okay.
Instagram was chatty a while ago, but now they're all just silently watching.
What's your take on food heated up in the microwave?
Oh, anti-microwaves. Always, always, always. If I have time, I'll cover it today. But if not, don't ever, ever use a microwave except for one thing. Take your kitchen sponge, as long as it has no metal in it, put it in the microwave at the end of the day and run it for about a minute or two. And it'll kill all the viruses, germs, and bacteria because the electromagnetic frequencies, the microwaves, can get in there and destroy the DNA of the viruses, germs, and bacteria. So that's what it does to your body, too. So that's why I'm not a big fan of it.
Oh, I have a question for you.
You do?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Me and you were talking about this the other day. How do you feel about silicone sponges?
Silicone sponges?
Yeah, they make like silicone sponges
Oh.
now that are like dishwasher safe.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with them. I've never seen anything bad about them because it doesn't break down really. It's not getting in your food. So I've never seen a downside to it. The big thing I have with dishes is using a non-natural dish soap because it always leaves some residue, always. And so that's why you always want to use a pure natural dish soap, dishwasher soap for your dishes and for your dishwasher. Absolutely, positively.
We just don't have a microwave, so I wanted to get something that I can
Oh,
put
yeah.
in the dishwasher.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So, what else?
I was just wondering personally. I didn't know what your if you're out on potatoes or not. Do you not do potatoes?
If you're going to do potatoes, they need to be organic, but just be careful because I put on weight if I eat more than just one potato. I blow up like a balloon. So, yeah.
I live off potatoes.
Okay, well, it's not affecting you then, but yeah, you're also
Jared has a high metabolism.
also have socks older than you, so time will get you, my friend.
It's one of my favorite memes.
What?
Versatile potato.
Oh yeah.
You bake it, fry it, ferment it.
Boil it.
Yep, it's true. Absolutely.
It's very versatile.
Always organic because they grow on the ground. Anything on the ground has to be organic.
What was that called?
Potato?
A root vegetable?
Yeah. There's a word for that. Though.
Tuber.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The weirdest questions.
He seems a weird person.
All right. Promise that's why I'm going to do it. Yes.
Okay. Is it a link between anxiety, depression, and hormones? What about the link between a girl 20 years old that she doesn't start sexual life and anxiety? I'm not exactly.
Not sure I'm getting that either.
Could you possibly reword that question?
Yeah, send that in again. Let it reword it because I'm not sure I understood it. Yeah. But yes, hormones are a big issue. That's why we do a hormone panel for you. We also want to check your digestion because we talked how the stomach breaks proteins into amino acids to produce neurotransmitters. So we do a hormone panel and a digestive panel. In most cases, we should be able to fix that. Traffic. Last half hour. Man, it goes quick, isn't it?
It did go quick today.
Crazy, isn't it? God.
Who's the new guy?
Yeah.
What?
Because of the new guy.
The new guy. He made it go
Made
fast.
things fly by.
He warped the space-time continuum, right? Lewis has that power to warp the space-time continuum.
Everybody needs a superpower.
That's right, man.
Don't
Slow down
forget-
time. For my age, slow down time.
Don't forget we're doing how this segment. Well,
How to fix it.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I got here. Let's see, put it right there.
All right, stand by.
For tonight, after the storms, we look for decreasing clouds after midnight, windy and turning colder, low around 43. Monday, sunshine, breezy, cool, high 67. Mostly sunny Tuesday, warmer, high 78. Wednesday, increasing clouds, high 80, low 60.
63 degrees on Peachtree Street at News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB. depend on it.
He can predict your health future by looking at your refrigerator. Learn what you should eat and what not to eat to get healthy. Dr. Joe Esposito is on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey, Dr. Joe here. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're covering electromagnetic frequencies today. Covered a lot of good information, a lot of scientific stuff today. So if you missed that first part of the show, go to my website, drjoe.com. Tomorrow it'll be on the website. You can listen to that and over 1,000 hours of podcasts on the website, drjoe.com. A lot of good information because we want to naturally get you well and keep you well. So I promised this last segment I would talk about things you need to do to limit your exposure to electromagnetic frequencies. So let's whip through that. Couple of things. Cell phone towers should be a major concern of yours if you work or even go to school within 300 meters or about 1,000 feet. Even just driving past one is going to increase that. So you want to be no closer than 1,000 feet away from a cell phone tower. Your cell phone, another major source of problems. Also cordless phones. If you have a cordless phone, not a good idea. Don't walk around with a cordless headset. Not really a good idea. Wi-Fi routers, the wireless headsets. Other wireless equipment things, wireless mice, or is it mouses? I don't know what the plural of mice is. Keyboards, smart thermostats, baby monitors, smart meters and microwave ovens in your kitchen. Get them away from there. I don't like the wireless baby monitors, especially with the cameras there, because that's putting electromagnetic frequencies in with the baby. Ideally, address the source and determine how you could limit your use. I know it's tough on some of these things. You can get cell phone pouches that are shielded on one side and put that side against your body. Use a cell phone with a headset or a speaker. Work toward hardwiring your devices so you don't have to be in a Wi-Fi field. You don't have unnecessary radiation if you don't need it. In my house, I have a timer. It's a Christmas tree timer. Bought it for like $9 at a big box store. And what I do is I plug my router into that because I have Wi-Fi at my house. And at night, right around 10 o'clock, it clicks off. And right at 6 o'clock in the morning, it clicks back on again. So I'm not sleeping with electromagnetic frequencies and Wi-Fi around me. And I think everybody should be doing that. It's real simple. It's real easy. It costs about $8. And you'll be amazed. A lot of people do it and say, Doc, I'm sleeping so much better. It's just amazing what you did for me. So as few wireless things as possible. Once you know the mechanism of harm, which we just talked about, you can go to my website, drjoe.com, and listen to this show. We talked about how it affects your body. You're going to have a better idea as to how to remediate the problem. I want you to understand why these things happen. Every show I've ever done, every lecture I've ever done, every person I've ever met with, I explain why things happen. Because if I tell you, yes, you need chiropractic care, you say, okay. If I say you need chiropractic care because the bones are out of place pinching the nerves, and nerves affect organ function and blood flow, and the nervous system controls everything, and if bones are out of place, they rub up against each other and they wear out, and you could develop arthritis. And so you can pinch nerves that feel pain and pinch nerves that don't feel pain, and if it's bad enough, it can cause the body to twist and contort. And when I explain it to you, when patients come in, I show them x-rays, and I'll say, this is what's happening to you. Most patients go, now it makes sense, I get it. Nurses make our best patients. Engineers make our second best patients. Nurses and doctors are great because they understand from the medical standpoint, the physiological standpoint, and engineers understand something. Structure affects function. If bones are out of place, they rub up against each other, they wear out, and that's basic engineering. So I show an engineer an x-ray and the hips are on level, or the neck doesn't have a curve in it like it's supposed to, and the engineer goes, let's fix that. I get it. I want to do everything I can to fix it. So we want to get to the cause of the problems, not just treat the symptoms. So when I give you the mechanism of trauma when it comes to electromagnetic frequencies, now you can understand it. Since we know now that electromagnetic frequencies are reduced by calcium channel blockers, which is a drug, a natural solution, I don't want you to take drugs for this, a natural solution would be make sure you're getting enough magnesium, because magnesium is a natural calcium channel blocker. It blocks the calcium from being absorbed. Most people are deficient in magnesium, which have a worse impact if they don't have enough magnesium. So it's very clear when you're deficient in magnesium, you can have excessive activity of electromagnetic frequencies affecting the channels of the calcium channels in the cells. So what do we do about that? We got to eat more foods that are high in magnesium. How about things like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source? Important stuff, because the Super Greens, the essential source, is going to have magnesium in it. How about nuts, loaded with magnesium? How about fruits and vegetables and seeds, loaded with magnesium? So it's really important that you understand how this happens. Now, something called an NRF2 can help your problems as well. And NRF2 If you understand, I'm going to explain what this is in a second. It lowers inflammation, it improves mitochondrial function, it stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, which means it produces more mitochondria, helps detoxify the body of foreign antibiotics and hormones. It activates the transcription of over 5,000 genes in the human body. So it causes the genes to turn on, good ones to turn on. Most of them are cytoprotective. They protect the cells. So this NRF2 is really important. And it includes 3 genes that are encoded in enzymes that are required to produce something called glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. And you can get glutathione by taking a supplement called N-acetylcysteine. Your liver makes glutathione, but if you have this NRF2, it's going to help the body protect itself and produce glutathione. So let's talk about things you can do to produce the NRF2, which is going to protect the cells from electromagnetic frequency. Sulforaphane. Vegetables that are cruciferous. Cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Useless information. Why are they called cruciferous vegetables? Cruciferous vegetables, when the flower forms, is in the shape of a crucifix. That's why they're called cruciferous. So there you go. Useless information. Unless it comes up on Jeopardy, you'll never use that again. So this sulforaphane is found that helps the NRF2 being produced. Long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, things like algae oil, which is the purest form. Fish oil, good for, it has omega-3s, but fish, you run the risk of having mercury and heavy metals in the fish. You can do krill oil, which is a better choice because it's already in the phospholipid form, which is easier to digest, and it's less likely to have heavy metals in it. So fish, not the best source of omega-3s. Krill, a better choice. Algae oil is the purest form. And that's why I use chlorella and spirulina algae in my super greens, because it's a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. You need these to help protect the cells. We talked about the sulfur compounds, sulforaphane. How about things that are found in things like garlic and onions? Those contain sulfur as well. Isothiocyanates from cabbage can help. So what does it all boil down to? All the things I just listed that help activate the NRF2, which also help protect this, it helps protect the cells from electromagnetic frequency. It comes down to eating more vegetables. So I gave you all that scientific information to come back to the point that you need to eat more vegetables in your life, because vegetables are so important for so many reasons, including the fact it can help protect you from electromagnetic frequencies. And what's another good source of magnesium? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So the take-home message, I got a lot more to cover. I believe that EMF exposure may be one of the most significant factors to help your body get well, avoiding it. It affects sperm count. It can increase the prevalence of anxiety, depression. It can aggravate autism and Alzheimer's. And it's highly likely a contributing factor to cancer. So a lot of important things here. So if you care about your heart, your brain, your reproductive system, avoid carrying your cell phone in your pocket or on your hip. Avoid using portable computers on your lap. Take measures to eliminate as many unnecessary electromagnetic frequencies as you can in your home, in your car, everywhere. Because these things are really serious, folks. This is not a game anymore. When it first came out, there was a lot of questions. Did it really cause problems? Did it not cause problems? I think the answer now is very, very clear. And if you start doing a few things, I'm going to go to a break right now. When I come back, I got a few more things I want to give you. We've got a lot to cover here. So, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. My website is drjoe.com. All the supplements we talked about, the super greens, the essential source, the nitric oxide, we have a B complex there, and adrenal support, digestive enzymes, all those are on the website, drjoe.com. If you want to come see us, I think you should. My website is drjoe.com. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to be your doctors. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, if you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. Stop suffering needlessly. Go to my website right now, drjoe.com, and make an appointment, or call us during business hours, 844-44-DR-JOE. We'll be right back.
Do the super greens contain wheatgrass?
Neck pain, back pain,
yes.
shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. All right, yes, it does have wheatgrass in it.
Now, what if I'm allergic to wheatgrass?
Most people don't have a problem because there's no gluten in there. Gluten is formed when a berry is formed, though technically I have to say that it's not gluten-free. So if you're allergic to it, it's probably not a product you want to take then. Or start taking digestive enzymes. It should help that allergy reaction. So,
Will the super greens have a laxative effect?
some people say it really helps their bowels, but not like a laxative. It just kind of helps normal function. So a lot of people say when they take it, they just feel great. We have Dr. Joe's intestinal cleanser if you are constipated. So Dr. Joe's intestinal cleanser is great too. And that's something you might want to consider as well, short term. And then fix the stomach, fix the nerves through the bowels, and most people don't have constipation anymore. Lewis, what do you got for me?
I don't have anything right off the bat for you.
Fine.
YouTube's. I was actually wondering personally. What are your thoughts on chewing gum? Do you have a problem with gum?
No, not at all. I don't have a problem with gum. It can just stimulate digestive enzymes, actually, which can be helpful. Just make sure it doesn't have any artificial sweeteners in it. Okay. So they have stevia sweetened gum, xylitol sweetened gum. Those would be better choices.
Stevia's not very good.
I'm okay with stevia. The flavor?
Yeah, the flavor.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
that's okay. Yeah.
To me, it's just a different sweet.
It's different. Yeah.
It's a different sweet. Yeah, once you get used to stevia, the other sweet doesn't, that becomes weird. So.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Okay, you said there's a pouch to block EMF.
Yes.
I saw a sticker a little larger than a postage stamp. Are these stamps effective?
Those seem to be effective, so it's something to do. Absolutely, yes. I have no problem with that at all. Mm-hmm.
All right, so how often do you practice earthing?
As often as I can.
Okay.
Earthing is when you walk barefoot in the ground because it discharges electrons into the body. The earth is loaded and it helps neutralize the body. Walking on a beach, of course, is great. If you're going to walk on a lawn, make sure it's not sprayed with a bunch of chemicals. But I try to earth it whenever I can. Whenever I can walk barefoot, I do. That's safe.
Can having a ventricular shunt the reason behind my urinating urgency? I'm not sure that was worded.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying. Could a ventricular shunt cause urinary urgency?
Yeah.
Anything can cause anything, and especially with the heart, you're affecting the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is a parasympathetic nerve, which helps control bladder function. So I'm not saying no. I can see where it might. I've never heard it that way before. But many times urinary urgency is a pinched nerve in the low back. That's the nerve to the colon, the prostate, the sex organs, and the bladder. So you might want to come see us and get that checked. A lot of patients with urinary urgency, they get adjusted and problem solved. So.
All right. Is there a natural antibiotic that you recommend for us?
Dr. Joe's seasonal tonic. Again, I can't say it's a medicine, but it's loaded. It's made with ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, onion, and garlic, which all have properties to help with the immune system. Garlic has been known to has shown antibiotic properties. Coconut oil has shown antibiotic properties. Oil of oregano has shown properties as well. So those are some things you might want to consider.
We just did a show on that.
Yes, we did.
Was that our last show?
It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
You were here?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago. It's on our website, drjoe.com.
Mm-hmm. And this person's on YouTube, so yeah, you can check our videos, and probably 2 videos back, it just says antibiotics. You have anything? Sierra?
Me? I do not have anything.
Why not?
Instagram just, like, everybody will ask a question at once, and then
Of course, isn't that weird? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Take out the Bluetooth earbuds.
Yes.
The super greens, yes, they are in powder form. And lastly, what can I do to get my tongue from being inflamed all the time?
You're probably having some type of reaction. So what I would do is start writing down, get a diet diary, go to our website, drjoe.com. Under patient forms, you'll see a diet diary.
It's
print that up.
the green form.
The green form. It's free. I mean, just print it up. Start writing down everything you eat. Everything. Chewing gum, anything, diet soda, whatever it is, and then write down when your tongue swells worse. And let's see if we can find a reaction to it. So it's probably some type of reaction. Pineapple can do that to some people. So just try to figure out what the cause is by using a diet diary. If that doesn't work, then come see us. We'll try to dig a little deeper.
And when you come see us, bring that diet diary.
Bring your diet diary. That's right. Exactly. All right, coming back. God, goes so quick. I'll take one more caller, then I'll jump into these things here. Yeah, this is it. Last segment.
Also, New Crash Westside Perimeter 285 South, just before the Bolton Road overpass, north of Hollywood Parkway, exit 12, right lane affected. This report by Ashley.
How are you working today? A lot of calls. We didn't take all of them. We only took the ones we liked. So. Poor Larry. New guy, make him work. Lewis, new guy, make him work.
WSB.
Here we go.
You'll ask yourself, why didn't I listen to him sooner? Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking about electromagnetic frequencies. Those are the electromagnetic frequencies that come off your cell phone, your Wi-Fi, your portable phones, even wireless mice or mouses, whatever the plural is. So it's really important you understand this because you're surrounded by it and it's really causing a lot of problems. And what you want to do to remediate it, we're going to cover that in a second. But from a nutritional standpoint, you want to keep the cells as healthy as possible. Cellular health, you are cells. That's what you're made up of. So why wouldn't you be concerned about cellular health? Well, you should be. So you got to give the cells the nutrients that they need in order to function. It's like a car. You got to put the right gas in it. So the minimum supplements you should be taking every day are Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're on the website, drjoe.com. I want you to have something raw at every meal. Now, when I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, salad, something raw at every meal. I had a grapefruit today, and I had a salad as well. So raw food is really important because it has enzymes in it. If you're over 40, if you have digestive problems, you might want to consider Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes. I take them every time I have a cooked meal. If I eat a raw meal, no big deal. If I have a cooked meal, I always take my digestive enzymes, and boy, it's amazing. And I had a big weekend shoveling a lot of wood chips. I worked probably about 8, 10, well, more than that, probably 15, 16 hours of shoveling wood chips. I was really sore. So I took digestive enzymes, and the enzymes, the protease, helps break down a lot of that inflammation as well. So there's a lot of other things you can use the digestive enzymes for. But those are all on the website, drjoe.com, but at least the Super Greens, the Essential Source. I'll take one more call, then I got to go with things you need to remediate the electromagnetic frequencies. D, how can we make your day better? Okay, so selenium isn't necessary for hair growth. Selenium I had my hair analysis done and I found I was low in selenium. When I took it, I had a little bit of gray hair, it totally went away. So that was, yeah. But if you want to get a hair analysis, we can do that for you, and then we can determine if there's anything else that may be affecting hair growth, because it could be thyroid, it could be adrenal issues, could be other things as well, circulatory. The hard nails could be a yeast infection. So what I want you to do tomorrow, D, is I want you to do this. Get a clear glass of water and put it next to your bed tonight. When you wake up tomorrow morning, get a big mouthful of spit. Like scrape your tongue with your teeth, get a good mouthful of spit and spit into the glass. Up to an hour, if you start to see little tentacles come down, looking like octopus little tentacles coming down, that could be a sign of a systemic yeast infection. And if it is, then you got to come see us, and we got to get you on a good protocol to get that yeast taken care of. So you might be a yeast infection. For me, it was. For me, it was, yes. Not everybody has the same thing, but when I had my hair analysis, that's what I found, and that was one of the benefits I found from it. So, but don't take too much. You can go into selenium toxicity, okay? Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Yep, and it's vegan. Good, D. Yeah, it's vegan, too. All right, a couple of things I want you to consider about electromagnetic frequency. We talked about shutting off the Wi-Fi with a little timer there. You can actually flip off the breakers if you wanted to and shut off all the electricity. So if you're having health issues, you can't figure it out, shut off all the electricity in your house. Give it a few nights and see what happens. Maybe it's an issue. If not, so what? You shut the electricity off for a couple hours. Use battery-packed alarm clocks, ideally without any light. I would say try to stay away from using your cell phone as your alarm. And if it is, you got to move your cell phone absolutely to the other side of the room, 10, 20 feet away. I have mine about 20 feet away. Consider moving baby's bed into your room or keeping the doors open to your bedroom instead of a wireless baby monitor. Alternatively, you can use a hardwired monitor if you wanted to as well. But the baby monitors, again, electromagnetic frequencies getting in little tiny brains, not really a good thing. If you have to use Wi-Fi, like I said, shut it off at night. That's what I do. I don't shut off the whole house. But some people, we do shut off the whole house, and it seems to work for them. For more extensive shielding, if you're really serious and you're really sensitive to it, there's actually paint that you can use. And you can paint your bedroom walls, even the floor if you have to, with special shielding paint. And that can block the radio frequencies from the inside, so they don't get in, and as well as the outside, so you don't go outside, they don't go inside. So if you have cell phones, smart meters, radio TV towers, your neighbor's Wi-Fi, something to consider. You don't have to do it. That's more of an extreme measure, but it's something you can consider as well, just so you know they are out there. I don't know if they use lead paint or not. I hope not. Connect your desktop monitor to the internet via an Ethernet connection. And then, just importantly, be sure to put your desktop in airplane mode. Once again, if you have a laptop especially, and you put it on your lap and it's on Wi-Fi, not a good idea. Plug it in, put it in airplane mode so it's not picking up that Wi-Fi. Avoid wireless keyboards. We talked about that. Trackballs, mice, gaming system, printers, portable house phones. Much better to connect than to go Wi-Fi. And the big concern I'm seeing now is this generation, these kids, it's like the old man, everything is Wi-Fi. And it's really, really, really scary. Now, please, folks, if you have children, if you have control of them, take the phone away from them. Don't let them sleep with their phone next to their head. These Wi-Fi is getting into their brain, and it has to be affecting them. Once again, these problems aren't going to show up for 10 or 15 years. So I hope I don't have to put this show in a Dr. Joe is right column. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we have this sudden outburst of brain cancer or other issues involved. Because again, 10, 15 years of latency for brain cancer. Now, I have a lot of shows in the Dr. Joe is right column. I don't want this one to be one, especially since I'm telling you what to do about it. Ideally, you want to eliminate Wi-Fi if you can, get connected as much as you can. Avoid carrying your cell phone in your body unless it's on airplane mode. Never sleep with it next to your bed unless it's in airplane mode. Again, put it far away. When I take it, I carry my phone in my hand every chance I can. If I have to put it in my pocket because my hands are full, I put it in my pocket for as little time as possible. When I get in my car, it's immediately, well, in Georgia, it's a hands-free state, so I put it on a magnet on my dashboard. But try not to carry it close to your body if you can. If you still use a microwave oven, consider replacing it with a steam convection oven, which is going to heat the food just about as quickly, and it's much safer. Stand clear of your microwave oven. The only thing you should be using your microwave for, if you have one, is this. At the end of the day, if you have a sponge, your kitchen sponge, if it does, hopefully it doesn't have metal in it, take the sponge, put it in your microwave, turn it on for about a minute, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, and walk away. The radio frequency, the microwaves, can get into the cells and actually kill the viruses, germs, and bacteria. So if it's doing that to the viruses, germs, and bacteria, guess what? It's doing it to you too. They're alive just like you are. Induction cooktops, avoid them because they're putting out electromagnetic frequencies. They emit magnetic waves, well, actually magnetic waves in this case, all over your kitchen. So you got to be careful. Time's up. Oh my gosh. Folks, got to run. Don't use an electric bed or electric chair. That was my bottom line. Hey, I got to run. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you have any questions, go to my website, drjoe.com. You can send them to me there. If you want to listen to this and over 1,000 hours of other shows, drjoe.com. All the supplements, the super greens, the essential source, everything we talked about, drjoe.com. Come see us. Let's get you well and keep you well. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. I want to be your doctor. We all do. We accept most insurances and car accidents. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Catch you next time.
What do you do?
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much. Everybody wave to our intern over there, our new intern. Be nice to him.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, folks, go to the website, make an appointment to come see us, and we'll catch you next time.